Finding north when the sky is fully overcast, no sun, no stars, no landmarks. How do you find north? This is a critical survival skill when all other methods fail. By the end of this guide, you'll learn 3 reliable techniques to determine true north under overcast conditions. Always remember to check local laws and regulations before attempting any wilderness navigation techniques. You don't need fancy gadgets. Just basic tools most people carry. A compass, if you have it, and an analog watch. A knife or stick will also be helpful. No matches or GPS needed, just what's on your belt today. Remember, when using natural methods to find direction in the wilderness, always ensure you comply with local laws regarding the use of any tools and respect for the environment. First step, find the hour hand on your analog watch. Don't panic if you can't see the sun directly. Instead, point the hour hand towards magnetic south, or approximate it based on memory or a compass reading. Then, imagine a line that bisects the angle between the hour hand and 12 o'clock. This line points roughly north-south. In areas west of where true south would be, the north-south line will point slightly east of magnetic south. In eastern locations, it'll point slightly west. This method works best with a traditional analog watch and requires knowing whether you're in an area where 12 o'clock should point towards magnetic or geographic south. Always carry a compass for reliable direction finding when navigating unfamiliar areas. But there's a catch. If you're west of Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, subtract 1 hour from noon before pointing. For most places in North America, that means setting your watch to 11 a.m., not 12 p.m. This is your halfway point. South will be directly between the hour hand and the 12 o'clock mark on your watch face. Remember, this method only works if you have a traditional analog watch with hour, minute, and second hands, and it relies on the sun's position, so it won't work during full overcast or at night. Always carry a compass as backup, and familiarize yourself with other natural navigation methods like observing moss growth patterns or the direction trees lean. When the sky is fully overcast, and you can't use the sun or stars to determine direction, you can still find north using a watch in the northern hemisphere. Hold your watch horizontally and point the hour hand directly at the position of the sun. Then draw an imaginary line from the center of the watch face to where the hour hand points, and then bisect the angle between the hour hand and the 12 o'clock mark. This will give you a north-south line with south on the side closer to the hour hand. In the northern hemisphere, the opposite direction will be north. Remember though, this method works best during daylight hours when the sun is visible, even if it's just peeking through clouds. Always carry a compass or GPS as a backup for navigating in uncertain conditions. But people often make mistakes by skipping crucial steps and relying on guesses. Don't guess. Measure accurately instead. When the sky is fully overcast, finding north becomes tricky since you can't use the sun or stars. However, you can still determine direction using a watch in the northern hemisphere or other reliable methods like a compass if available. Always double-check your method to ensure accuracy. Next, use a compass if you have one. Set your watch down, take out the compass, hold it steady and keep it level to let the needle settle. The needle points to magnetic north, not true geographic north, but this is accurate enough for most survival purposes. Make sure you know the difference between magnetic north and true north in your area if precise navigation is needed. But here's the catch with using a compass. Keep it level and still. Don't tilt it or shake it. Wait patiently for the needle to settle completely on its own, pointing north reliably. Remember, in situations where natural navigation methods are preferred over tools, always respect local laws and protected areas when foraging or setting up campsites. Now create a stick and shadow compass. Find a straight stick and place it vertically in the ground on level terrain. Mark where its tip touches the ground. As time passes, observe how the shadow length changes. When the sun is highest in the sky, around noon, the shadow will be shortest, pointing approximately due north. However, you don't need to wait for this exact moment. By marking several points along the shadow's path and drawing a line through them, you can estimate a north-south line even when the shadow isn't at its minimum length. Always remember that accuracy improves with clear skies and level ground. When the sky is fully overcast and you can't use the sun to determine direction, finding north becomes more challenging. Instead of relying on the sun's position, look for a clear area or wait for brief breaks in the cloud cover to observe the sun and cast shadows with a stick driven into the ground. Mark 2 points where the shadow falls an hour apart. When you draw lines from these marks back to the base of the stick, their intersection will point towards north. However, this method requires clear visibility of the sun at different times during the day. If clouds persistently block out time details, consider using other methods such as a compass or observing moss growth on trees for an approximate direction. But be aware that these alternatives may not always provide pinpoint accuracy and should be cross-referenced with additional techniques if possible. But people often get this wrong by rushing or marking too far apart, which can lead to inaccurate results. For best accuracy, wait about an hour between marks instead of using just a half-hour gap. Also remember, finding north with the sun isn't reliable in fully overcast conditions. Always have a compass or map as backup for navigating safely and legally in unfamiliar terrain. Another way, use a protractor and string. Find something flat and straight, like a ruler or stick. Tie one end of the string to it, pull tight so it's parallel with your watch face. Now look where noon would be on a clock, the 12 o'clock position. North is roughly perpendicular to this line, 90 degrees clockwise from there. However, remember that without clear sky markers, this method relies heavily on accurate time and may not work well in all locations or times of day. Always double-check with other methods when possible. But here's the catch. Finding north without a protractor can be tricky. If you don't have a compass, try the stick shadow method. Drive a straight stick into the ground and mark the end of its shadow after 15 minutes. The line between your first mark and the new shadow tip points roughly east-west. Remember, always know local laws and seasons when navigating to avoid protected areas or restricted zones. One more trick. Be cautious with moss and lichen. While some folklore suggests that moss grows primarily on the north side of trees due to shade, this is unreliable as moss can grow in various conditions and locations. Always confirm direction using a reliable method like a compass or by watching the sun's position if skies clear. But people often mistakenly believe that moss only grows on the north side of trees and rocks, assuming it can be used to find north when the sky is overcast. This isn't always accurate. Moss growth depends more on moisture than direction, and should not be relied upon without additional verification from a compass or another reliable method. Always use confirmed methods like watching the sun's movement or using a watch for orientation when natural indicators are uncertain. Now you know 3 reliable methods to find true north when the sky is fully overcast. Using a watch or analog clock, not digital, with hour hand tricks, carrying and knowing how to use a compass, and observing the sun's movement through stick shadow lines. Each method has its advantages, so choose the one that works best for you based on what tools you have available. Remember, in an emergency, always prioritize safety and legality when using natural resources or navigating unfamiliar terrain. Let's talk about accuracy. The watch trick can be off by up to 15 degrees if your time zone isn't precise. Compasses also might not point exactly to true north due to local variations in Earth's magnetic field, known as declination. For pinpoint accuracy, stick shadows work well when skies are clear, but require patience and careful observation to determine the exact direction of noon. Always double-check your method and be prepared with multiple techniques for finding north. So how do you know which one to trust? When the sky is fully overcast and you can't use the sun or stars to find north, a compass is your best tool. Make sure your compass needle points toward magnetic north. Remember, Using a watch to determine direction only works when the sun is visible and not during daylight savings time. Always double-check any method for accuracy and rely on multiple techniques to confirm your direction. Now for a real-world scenario. Lost and overcast, knowing north is crucial. Here, that's what keeps you alive. You've got no landmarks, but you need to find the way back home. Stick to your compass reading or stick shadow lines if conditions allow, but remember that moss can grow on various sides of trees depending on local climate and microenvironment factors, so don't rely on just one clue. Always cross-check multiple methods for accuracy. But people often rely too heavily on a single method and skip verifying their direction. Always double-check your bearings for peace of mind. Remember, navigating by the stars or sun might not be possible if the sky is overcast, so it's crucial to have multiple methods at hand, such as using a compass or learning natural indicators like moss patterns on trees or the position of landmarks relative to each other. Here's a quick recap of the methods to find north when the sky is fully overcast. 1 hour hand trick. With a watch, point the hour hand towards the sun, then bisect the angle between the hour hand and 12 o'clock to find south. 2. Compass reading. Use a compass for magnetic north, but remember that local variations may exist from true north. 3. Stick shadow method. Mark the shortest shadow of the day with one stick and another after an hour passes. Draw lines through these marks to find east-west direction. Always cross-check your readings using multiple methods for accuracy. Note that foraging, hunting, fishing, and trapping are governed by local laws and seasons. Make sure you're aware of them before heading out. How do you know it worked? Your map should align with the direction of north indicated by any method used.